Hey guys, hCG Chica. Welcome back. We're on episode 26 now of the hCG Diet Interviews. You know that I like to interview everyday people who are making a life change with this protocol. I have Lynette with me today. She's lost not 108 pounds, but 108.4 pounds. We were joking about that, how us hCGers, we take all those little point twos and point fours, really add up and they count. So, but anyway, she's had a huge life change, as you'll see in the before and after photos. That go with this interview. She looks so much different, and I know she has a really neat story to share, which I'm going to find more out about along with you guys. So welcome, Lynette. Thanks for being with me today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. So why don't you just start off by giving us kind of your basic stats, like your age, your height, your where you started with your weight, where you ended, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm 50 years old. I'll be soon 51 in a couple of months. I'm 5'4". I started out at 301 pounds, and you want my measurements? Let's see. I had BMI. Let's see. Fat ratio. It wouldn't even read
Oh wow.
on the device. My BMI was 50.1. My waist was 51 and my hips were 61.
Okay, and so where are you at today?
Today I am, let's see, my BMI is 33.5 and my fat is 41.2. My waist is 34 and hips is 47.
Wow, okay, so you say your waist was originally 51 inches and then now it's 34.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like 17,
Yeah.
around 17 inches. And then your hips, where did you start again?
61.
61 to 47. So pretty much on both your waist and your hips, you lost like 16 or 17 inches off of each. Like that's like a foot and a half almost.
Wow. Never thought about it like that.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Whoa. So obviously a lot of fat loss there. That is fantastic. So you started at 301 pounds, and where are you at today?
Today I'm 192.7.
That is
Leave that point off of there.
that is amazing. How about like with your size? Obviously, losing that many inches, your clothing size. Do you know how's your clothing size changed?
I was wearing a 26, 28 in women's, and now I wear a 16. I can get in some 14s.
Awesome. That is
Yeah,
awesome. That probably feels really good.
it feels great.
Now, I'm curious about like your history. Have you dealt with being overweight like your whole life, or was that something more just in the past few years?
This is, I've probably been overweight. Me and my dad was talking about that today. Probably started around 10,
Yeah.
12, somewhere in there. And, I was a overweight teenager and went into adulthood overweight.
Yeah,
And I've lost weight, off and on.
sure, sure. What do you think are some of the things that kind of made you struggle with that throughout those years? Like what is it that made it difficult, do you think?
Um, I've I did Formula 3. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that.
Can you explain?
And I did Weight Watchers before. Formula 3 was where you drank a lot of drinks and basically did a lot of tuna. Tuna. We did a lot of tuna, but
Okay,
I lost weight, but on Weight Watchers and Formula 3, and those are really only two diets that I've probably ever done.
I see.
But I never really thought about, what after you get the weight off, you got to that certain size or whatever. And I think the most that I've ever lost is 40 pounds
Gotcha.
either way. And you don't even think about keeping it off. You just think about, I'm getting into this size and then I want to eat what I want to eat.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And so, and then the next thing you know, you're right back in where you started from and you have a lot more.
Yeah, and it is funny too, isn't it, how like it seems like it's so much work to get it off, but then getting it back on doesn't seem very hard. Like
No.
it's just like wow, this should have taken longer.
Yeah, it's just a whole different mindset, I guess,
Yeah.
from then to now. So,
So how, yeah, I would love to hear about that with you finding the hCG protocol. how has it been different for you this time with learning how to actually maintain the weight loss and stuff? What's changed?
I think just with the hCG diet, the results were so fast.
Yeah.
And once I saw the weight coming off, it was just, I wanted to keep going. It just made it easier.
Yeah.
And then once I got on the program, that control, finally I had some control over what I was eating. I could see it on the paper, and then I could see the results on the scale. So it was really exciting.
Yeah, yeah, because it's actually like quick enough for, like you said, for you to see the results, and it's motivating, you know. That's cool. I'd love for you to, you kind of mentioned in the message to me just kind of the low point, some of the low points that you hit at your heaviest. Like what types of things were you finding difficult when you were really heavy?
Uh, I had gotten up to that 300-pound mark, of which I didn't even know at the time. It was just having low blood sugar drops,
Yeah.
and found out that I was hypoglycemic, and um, just really trying to walk from my office to the parking lot. It would just be out of breath and just so worn out.
Wow.
Just it was just awful. I was felt like I was going to have a heart attack at any time. I
Yeah.
just didn't feel healthy at all.
Okay.
And I would come home and we'd eat a lot of fast food and basically just get on the couch and that was it.
Gotcha. So it
Yeah,
just didn't feel like you could really do much in life.
I really couldn't function, not at that weight. And it was really depressing.
Yeah. How would
Yeah.
you compare that, to now with where you're at? What's different now in that way?
I know I was walking in the spring when I had lost maybe, well, I guess it was in the fall there, but I started walking in the park, and my husband remarked, it's just amazing that I could go all the way around the trail,
Cool.
and it's really going at it.
Awesome.
Before, I would just have to stop and sit down.
Yeah.
It just felt so freeing, just being able to just walk
Like I can move my
without,
legs.
without sweating, and
Cool.
oh, it just feels awesome.
That is so good. Because it's true, it does feel good to like move your body when it's challenging a little bit, but not so challenging that you feel like you're about to pass out?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is awesome. I'm curious, since you mentioned about the hypoglycemia, how did that work with you during phase two? Did you have any issues with low blood sugar on phase two?
I had one issue. I could feel myself getting really hungry,
Yeah,
and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and get ready and everything,
yeah,
and have my son fix the food for me because I thought I was really going to pass out then. But
gotcha.
that was the only time that ever happened, that one time.
Gotcha. And that was just because you kind of waited a little too long.
Waited too long.
Gotcha.
But other than that, I haven't had that problem but that one time. So,
That's good. That's awesome. Because some
yeah.
people kind of worry about that. So that's good since you had the low blood sugar, but it sounds like yeah, it wasn't too much of an issue for you then. That's cool.
No, not now, it isn't.
Cool. Did you do injections or drops or
I
can't?
did injections.
Okay, you did the injections. Do you remember what dosage? Did you have a certain dosage that you were using when you
Was
were on
it
it?
25?
125?
I think so.
Okay, and you stuck with that for how many rounds did you do?
This past September was my third round.
Gotcha. Okay, so you've done 3 rounds and you stuck with that dosage pretty much for most of it then?
Yeah, I think I had to up it a little bit,
Okay,
but it
just a little bit. Okay,
pretty much that. Hmm.
cool, awesome. Let me see, where am I? Okay, well, why don't we just talk now about the phase two part since you're kind of getting into that. How did you end up doing that? Because there's like the strict simians, there's modifications some people make, and so I'm just curious, how did you end up actually doing phase two?
I stuck to the rules the first two times,
Okay, okay,
and then this last time I sort of ate the what was it, chocolate delight,
okay,
and I think that kind of stalled me out a little.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sometimes you want to experiment, and then sometimes it's like, I don't think it's gonna work. But sometimes, modifications do work. So, you never know sometimes until you try them out. So, okay, cool. So the first 2 rounds, though, you were pretty much just the original Simeon's protocol.
first round I did 40 days,
Okay.
and had that break, 1 day break in between, you know. And then after that, I continued to lose after I came off the P2
Okay.
and went into P3. And then I continued to lose, and I went all the way to Christmas.
Okay.
About 224 pounds I got down to
Cool.
that. And then I could not, let's see, from 224, and then I would go down to about 204 and then bounce back up to 209, and I just could not stabilize
Yeah,
in there. And that was the first time I tried to stabilize.
I see.
The first round I just kept, losing and losing and losing.
Gotcha.
And then at January I finally got down there. And then September I've done it, the hCG again, and I'm probably rambling,
No, no,
but
you're fine.
I did it again and I finally broke 200.
That's
So
so, that must have felt so. I mean, it's probably been a lot, maybe a while since you were below
it's
200, huh?
years.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's cool.
And let's see.
About how much did you lose on your first round or each round?
About
Remember?
the first time I did it, the 40 days, almost 30 pounds, somewhere around 26, 27.
Cool.
And then with the other, I did 20 pounds, I think, something like that
Yeah,
in January. And then this time it was, you have to add the load weight. I
right.
think it was 20 pounds, but it's around 15,
Sure. What you,
like
the
that.
net
How?
loss. Yes, gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you've kind of lost about maybe like 2/3 of your weight loss with hCG
Hmm.
itself. Is that about right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of it you've lost between your rounds. Is that about right?
Hmm.
Cool. I'm curious to hear about it because it sounds like your rounds were pretty spread out.
Hmm.
So you had, is that right? You had several months in between each
Right.
one.
I had from May of 2013, and then I did it again in January of 2014,
Yeah, so that's quite a while. Cool.
and then September of 2014.
Awesome. Do you feel like when you were starting those subsequent rounds, do you feel like you were kind of mentally ready because you'd had enough of a break, or what do you think about that? Because I don't know, I find P2 to be very, very strict. Some people actually don't mind it, but usually by the end of the round, I was getting pretty tired of it. Did you feel that way, or
Yeah, this last time in September I did.
yeah, you're like okay,
I have to eat lettuce one more day,
yeah,
it's just you get tired of being restricted.
right, yeah,
Just want to eat something else, and you want to eat what you want to eat.
right,
If you do that, then it's just going to be, a wash, and
right,
wasted your time and
right,
effort.
yeah. Yeah, that is
But
why I often recommend that people take longer breaks, kind of like you did. I did the same as well. Just because you do have to really be mentally ready, because this honestly isn't the way you would eat in normal life. You know, you wouldn't eat 500 calories a day usually. You wouldn't eat from a list of 20 foods, so it gets hard, it's
it
not like
does.
something you're supposed to get used to. So yeah, you have to kind of be mentally in the game, and then, yeah, when the end is getting there and you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to do something else for a while. So it's
Mm,
nice to have that break. It just seems like it takes a little while before the previous round is far enough away to feel like, okay, I feel ready to do this again?
yeah, that's the question I have for myself. Do I really want to do it in January, or do I want to wait to spring?
Right.
When it's pretty outside, and you
Yeah.
got a lot of fruits and vegetables coming in, and
Mhm.
different things.
Well, that's good that you're thinking about it that way, though, and it kind of makes me feel like you are having a fairly healthy body image too. Do you feel like your body image has changed with this weight loss at all?
Yeah, you know how that goes. It takes a while for your brain
Right,
and your eyes to catch up with the amount of weight that you've lost.
right.
Uh, People, are telling you constantly. You know how that goes
Hmm.
about how good you look, but I don't think I have any body images. I really enjoy doing a lot of shopping, and
Yeah.
you know, wearing
Oh,
clothes that I like instead of
good.
getting things that just fit, or just cover you up or whatever.
Right.
So,
That's good because that's kind of one of the things that I feel ends up being a problem for a lot of women is where I just feel like you need to learn to kind of like who you are and how you look through the process, not just like at the very end. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
And,
because otherwise you're not happy, and if you have like 100 pounds to lose, it's gonna take a while. And if you're not like happy about how you look the whole time until the end, I just feel like it's gonna make it hard, you know?
and especially if you have 100 pounds or more to lose, let's just face it, you're not gonna have this toned, lean body.
Right, yeah,
I don't work out, so
yeah,
that, yeah, which I need to start. But you just have to accept, you know,
yeah.
this is the way it is, and it's better than what it was.
Yeah,
So,
I know, that's what I agree. Just kind of comparing it to where you started instead of where you want to be, because otherwise
hmm
you just, yeah, you won't be happy unless you're like, you know, perfectly perfect. But like you said, even when you get real lean, we're still most of us are still not going to look like a model. You know what I mean? It's like you said, we might have excess skin, or we're a little older, or you want to just eat somewhat normally, and so that means you're going to look normal. You're not going to be the leanest you could possibly be. But it's like so important to learn to like be happy with your body and how it looks. I remember when I, did my first round. I was still overweight after the end of my first round, but I looked new to me. Like, I was 27 pounds lighter, so I thought I looked great. I was like, I look good. And then, of course, I lost more, and then it's like, oh, wow, I look better now. But, it's nice if at each point, I don't know how it is to help other people do that necessarily, but I'm glad that that's something that you have. And I'm hoping just by talking about it, it will encourage people to try to just take pride in how you look through the process.
yeah.
So,
And,
'cause otherwise you
and
get too rushed. I'm taking over. I'm sorry. I'm like,
no, you're
it's
not.
your
No.
interview. I'm like talking too much. I'm almost done. I just wanted to say it's like otherwise you end up rushing the process too much and not being willing to do like what you did with the longer breaks, which sometimes are a smart thing to do, but sometimes because you're not happy with your body yet, you rush it and then you end up kind of having cheating and issues. So that's why it's smart. Anyway, okay. I'm done.
No, it's good. I love it. And I don't get to talk to people about the diet
Yeah.
that's going through the same kind of process.
Yeah.
You might be on Weight Watchers and we can talk about some things in general, but we really can't be on that same level. And I'm not saying it's any better,
Right.
but I'm saying somebody who understands about the protocol and about everything about the diet. And it's just great to have somebody to talk to about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let me see where I am now. So, usually I print out the questions, but I had to order ink.
Or you're in the boat I'm in. I don't have any ink
You,
either.
yeah, I know. I ran out of like the one, like you try to order all the color, like you try to each one is like yellow, pink, and then you run out of just one color, and you try to keep ordering so you'll never run out of just one, and then it's still. So I'm waiting for that to come. Let's see. Oh, setbacks. Let's see. So did you experience any setbacks when you were on the diet itself?
Um, no, I've
Oh,
pretty much just been losing steadily.
cool.
Um,
So you just really stuck to it and like
yeah, I've
it's
really
good.
stuck to it, and I did have a love affair with crackers,
Yeah,
and that I've and the almonds. I've really had to break myself from, cruising by the cabinet and
yeah,
getting handfuls out, and by the end of the day, it's like maybe 10 handfuls.
yeah.
So this time, I've cut those out.
And that
Uh,
are you talking about like for phase three or phase two?
phase three.
Oh, phase three. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I really haven't cheated in phase two except
Okay,
for that chocolate delight.
I
I,
gotcha.
I
Cool, cool. So, but in phase three, like you said, there's not as many rules, so it's a little more room to
yes.
sometimes get out of hand, huh?
Yeah. So the crackers and almonds and potato chip, well, not potato chips, like the veggie chips.
Yeah, yeah.
Not handle those. I cannot handle it.
Like,
If I get a bag of those, I will eat the whole thing. So
gotcha.
let's not get it.
So, what types of foods in phase three do you enjoy eating that you do well with? What are some
I do
examples?
I do steak and hamburger a lot. Chicken, fish, salmon. I do let's see here, zucchini pizza.
Mm,
I'll make some of that eggplant pizza.
okay.
Uh, and I've been basically eating, everything that I want, there's not a lot of starches and sugar.
Yeah.
Sort of keep to that.
Cool. I'd love to hear about the eggplant and zucchini pizza. How do you make those?
The zucchini pizza is just slice the zucchini. You can do disc or
Okay.
you can slice it lengthwise.
Yeah.
And I do mozzarella cheese, turkey pepperoni, some marinara sauce. I think that's what you call it.
Yeah.
And just stick it in the oven.
Awesome. So just on the slices, like,
On slices.
or egg.
Even my son likes that.
Cool. That sounds really good.
I even made this Christmas or Thanksgiving, I'm sorry. I used the Ezekiel cereal, Ezekiel 49, is that it?
Okay.
And they have cereal with almond in it, and I tried to make like a little pumpkin cake
Yeah.
with that, and it was pretty good.
That's cool. Awesome. Maybe I'll try to find a couple of those like recipes on Pinterest or something, and
Hmm.
we'll put them in the show notes for you guys if you want to check. Those little pizzas sound really good right now.
Oh, they're out there on Pinterest. They're
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I've seen some cool ones, so awesome. Good. Okay, let me see. Where am I at now?
Oh, and I will have to say, if it wasn't for the support of my husband and my family,
Yeah,
it would have been really hard
I see.
to
How did
get
they
it.
support, how did they support you?
They really, I don't have to cook anything special. Whatever I eat, they eat. I just fix them more of
Okay,
whatever.
so you make your phase two meal and you make it family size.
Hmm.
Awesome. And they
So
didn't complain, huh?
no, and actually they lost weight.
Wow, really? That's
My
awesome.
husband lost, I think he said like 40 pounds. My son's lost 25.
Wow. And they weren't actually on hCG, right? But they're just
No,
eating
no, it's
leaner
just
meals,
about changing the way we
lower
eat.
calorie meals with you.
Hmm.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, neat. That's really good because it's yeah, not everyone has that family support.
I know, yeah.
So, but that's really good. And like you said, making that change now has affected your family in a good way.
Hmm.
That's really cool. Now you mentioned that in some of your phase threes you continued losing weight.
Hmm.
Can you tell me like how you went about that? Like how much weight did you lose during your first between your first two rounds during that period of time? How much did you lose on your own and how did you do that?
I have here about 48 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Because that's several months.
I ended that first round from 301 to looks like 277.
Okay.
Or no, maybe 272.
Okay.
And then from there, I went to 224.
Wow, in the next several months, two twenty.
Yeah, I don't know if that's 48 or not, but
So well, 272 to 224. So that was definitely a good amount there. Yeah. Yes.
it was like 1,200 calories. And I track that with an app and just
What
try to
app? What app did you use?
Fat Secret Calorie Counter.
Okay. Cool. We'll put that in the show notes too for anyone who wants to check that out. Cool. And so you just continued steadily losing on the 1200 for
Hmm.
several months. Cool. That's really good. Yeah, can't talk. That doesn't work for everyone. You know, like some people when they eat low calorie, like they just their weight won't come off. But then I have had a couple interviews now who did continue losing in phase three by eating a lower calorie diet, you know?
Hmm.
So that's really cool. Um, all right, let's see. As far as what you ate of the like what were those 1200 calories made up of? Was it low carb or did you have some carbs in there or
I have apples every day
okay.
and blueberries, strawberries. I stuck to that, to
Okay.
those fruits that were in P2.
Yeah.
Um, I'm basically eating the same stuff that I've always ate. And I have steak. When we go out, I have steak and a salad. When I'm at home, I fix little hamburger patties in the oven.
Yeah.
I'm cooking, let's see, just like made salmon patties with no meal
Oh,
and just kind of, the normal way you make them
yeah.
and use the coconut oil and fry them up. And we have salmon, steamed salmon.
That sounds good.
Um, I don't eat hot dogs or, things like that.
Yeah.
I don't eat bread
Yeah.
except for the Ezekiel bread. I have tried that. It's just basically everything that you're in phase three.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm being cheated.
That's great. That's really it sounds like you've just really committed yourself, like your mind to Because sometimes, if you like you said you're before you did a lot of fast food and stuff.
Hmm.
For some people anyway, making that change can be pretty like heart-wrenching, really. Like they're
Well,
constantly thinking about that. Like, was that hard for you at first?
well, I guess I think when we were doing the fast food, we were all sick of it.
Oh, gotcha.
If that makes any sense, we're just
Yeah,
eating it because it's fast and it's convenient,
yeah,
and we just get it over with.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not anything that we just. It's weird,
yeah,
but we're really it's fast and convenient, and we were eating pizza and fried chicken and hot wings, and that stuff just got so old,
yeah.
and that's why I was saying, we're all gonna get. My mother has sugar diabetes,
Oh,
and my husband's side of the family has sugar diabetes, so
that's
um,
something to think about.
I'm sorry. Everybody says sugar diabetes, but anyway, diabetes.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay.
But anyway, and you kind of worry about your son, you know,
Yeah,
getting that. And so making a healthy change was really good for all of us.
it was just time, huh?
It was just time.
Found something that worked, so that's cool.
I'm just so happy and praising God every step of the way.
That's awesome. That's
It
great.
just, if I could bottle up how I feel, how good I feel, I believe I could make millions.
Aw.
Yeah. So it's just so drastic, the change.
think I think my kind of last thing I thought maybe you could share if you, I don't know if you got to think about it at all, but just as far as, giving advice to other people who want to start this protocol or who are struggling on it. What are some of the most important things that you felt were key to you doing this?
I have a lot of friends at work who want to try it or who have tried it and they just kind of failed at it.
Okay.
And I think that support, just like watching your videos or
Yeah.
listening to your podcast,
Yeah.
that helps out a lot.
Oh, good.
It gives a lot of information and just having somebody talk about it
Yeah.
and support from your family. It helps you along the way. And I think, I haven't tried sublingual or anything, but I think you should go under a doctor if you can
Hmm.
into a clinic and then have them monitor you and
Yeah.
make sure that everything's okay with you.
Right.
And if or get on the hCG and you get really hungry, then they can make adjustments
Right. Yeah.
uh, faster than what you probably could if you didn't know anything about it.
Right. And I do agree that making dosage adjustments is very important on the diet. Some people
Hmm.
sometimes are hungry for far too long, and I do think it affects weight loss too. And it really affects your morale. If you're hungry for too long, you just start feeling desperate. So, good.
Uh, what else could I say? Uh, it's only for 21 days.
Hmm.
And like you said, you need to, before you go into it, you need to check it out. You need to make sure you understand what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
Um, what else?
Yeah, I like that point actually because and it's okay because we're all at different points. So I'm not making anyone feel bad here, but I do still sometimes get messages, like private messages on Facebook, like, "Oh, I'm starting the diet. What foods can I eat?" Or something like that.
I know.
Okay, that's not probably a good idea that you're starting the diet if you don't know what foods you can eat. So
Right.
this is rather detailed. It's not just 500 calories or of whatever you want.
Hmm.
So it's good to be prepared.
And I think you just need to have your mind set,
Hmm.
and it is tough when everybody else is having a ball eating whatever they want, or
Right.
you're at work and they're wanting you to eat whatever they're eating and they won't leave you alone
Yeah.
unless you're partaking. So, it's just
Handle that. How do you handle that?
I just I know when I first started there was a guy who had a barbecued brisket
Hmm.
and he had brought it to work and I got invited to have some and I just took my lunch down there what I was going to eat and I said, now I'm sorry, I don't mean anything by this, but this is what I'm eating today because I'm on this diet. I'm not going to eat that. This is what I'm having,
Yeah.
and so I'm here.
Yeah.
So I just but
For you. And
it's
how did they
hard.
respond? Like, how did he respond? Like, he's okay?
Well, Yeah, they were okay after, everybody kind of pounded on me for a minute, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but you have to do it, right?
yeah.
If you want to get to your goals, sometimes you have to go through that.
Yeah, it comes to the point, are you gonna make them happy or make you happy?
Yeah. And
Who,
like you said, your choice with you is affecting your family. So really, it's like, am I going to choose people I don't know that well, or am I going to choose my family?
even if it was somebody in my family, I'm
Right.
just, I'm going this way, so I'm
Yeah.
not gonna turn myself around for that, not for cake
Right. Yeah.
today.
Yeah. I know. Good point. Well, good. Thanks so much for sharing all that with me. I think that that's about all that I wanted to ask you.
Well, I hope I did you a good interview. I don't know.
No, that was great. I just love hearing, people's personal stories because everybody has different feedback and different tips to share, and just depending on our personalities, we're going to resonate with different people. So,
There is one thing though, in maintaining
okay.
that I found out, that you do have to weigh yourself every day, unless you just have that inner thing to
Yeah.
where you
And
tell.
your scale. I don't
And
have that.
like the first round, I was obsessive. I was getting on it day and night and 3 and 4 times a day.
Oh
It
no.
was ridiculous.
Oh no. Don't do that.
I know it was driving myself crazy.
Yeah.
But and then just maintaining that is helping me so much, instead of just focusing on keep losing, and getting really frustrated with it
Yeah.
because I'm not where I want to be when I want, set that goal out there.
Right.
Just learning how to maintain and knowing what to eat, and just being satisfied with staying at that one number,
Yeah.
or within the 2 pounds.
Right.
I think everybody, like you said, should take a break and just learn how to maintain
Yeah.
where they are.
Yeah.
So, and this, I hope I can continue to lose. So, and get to my, I don't know if 150 pounds is where I'll be, but somewhere around there.
Something around there. So maybe just another 40 or so.
Yeah, 25, 30.
Cool.
My husband leaving, they're going to work out.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool.
Me.
There will be a time
Yes.
when
I
you're
don't know if it's
ready.
any hope for me or not.
When you're ready. Hey, you can take walks now at least, right?
Right.
So that's good. And I'm glad what you mentioned about the maintaining aspect, because it is a really good feeling, because a lot of people haven't really actually spent much time in life maintaining. Um, just to give my mom as an example, for many years, she said she pretty much was yo-yoing constantly, like on a diet losing, and then as soon as off the diet, she could never maintain, and then she was gaining. Um, and then she'd start a diet and be losing. So she never actually spent time like just actually being at a stable weight, whether it was, a little overweight or not.
Hmm.
And it is nice. It's comfortable.
Oh, about maintaining.
Oh yeah, just it feels really nice. Like for me, the scale, I'm pretty much within 2 pounds
Okay.
all
Uh,
the time. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I can wait actually if you want to.
yeah.
So yeah, I was just saying that it's really comforting to be stable. Like in the scale, I'm pretty much within 2 pounds almost all the time.
Hmm.
Um, and like you said, I do find in regular life that weighing daily is helpful for me. There are a few people that I've talked to that can keep things in check without the scale because they get a little too emotionally wrapped up in it. For me, I don't. It's just like if it gets too high, then I just do make a correction. It's just useful for me. Because the thing is sometimes I do indulge. I don't know about you, but some days you might eat a little more calories than others. But it's hard to make that decision about whether or not it's a day that you can eat more or less if you have an
Right.
idea, where you're at on the scale. If I'm up, I'm not going to indulge that day. I'm going to be a little more tight on what I
Hmm.
eat. And then if I'm kind of on the lower side and it's a day where I'm like, oh, I want to have a little snack and then I can because I'm within that range. So it's been helpful for me in that respect.
Another thing that might have made, I can't even talk, that made this diet easy for me is I'm not a big sweet fan.
Cool.
I would rather have potato chips, and which is not any better, but
Yeah.
I don't crave cake and
Yeah.
pie and stuff,
You're
you know.
lucky. You are one of the lucky ones.
And then I said, I can't figure out how I was overweight if I'm not eating all this stuff. A lot of
No,
chips, I
I
can't.
could tell actually that you were not a sugar addict from the very beginning when you were saying that, like, oh yeah, I just made the change and I didn't cheat and I just, it wasn't too hard. And, I've had a few other interviews like you where you're like, well, yeah, I just did it. And like, wow, it was so much harder than that for me.
Uh,
That's so good. Yeah, some of us we have that weird sweet tooth thing, and so that's cool for you that. But either way, both types of people we get into that place where we're overweight and we have to
yeah,
change. So
yeah. I guess it's chips and crackers and stuff like that that I really like,
yeah,
the salty stuff. So,
gotcha. And those have
oh, the other thing about maintaining too is that you can't find anything out there, any books, any, things that kind of help you along to tell you.
right,
So, I think too, when you get up there, you got to find out where your calorie range is,
right,
what your limit is. Because,
yeah,
like I said before, I was doing 1,200 calories and losing.
right.
Well, this time I'm eating 1,750 calories
Ah,
and maintaining. That's
awesome.
crazy.
That's great.
But it,
That's
it,
so good.
I'm like, I get to eat all this food.
Oh, I was actually going to ask you that. What's your maintenance level of calories? So about 1750. That's awesome.
Hmm. And I have gone up to high as 2,000, and I did gain there. So,
Yeah, so you kind of found your little comfort zone.
and I did do a steak day yesterday,
Yeah.
and I found out, well, I don't know if this may be old news to you, but I did 6 eggs. I did 2 eggs for breakfast, 3 eggs for lunch, and 1 egg for snack. And then I did 8 ounces of steak and an apple. And I got up this morning, and it was the same as just starving all day and having that big steak in the evening.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody knows that or if they've tried that. So
Yeah.
that might be something.
So you did that and then you lost weight. You
I lost 2.8 pounds or
because you had like a
just.
real super low carb day.
Hmm.
Cool.
But I've never tried that before, and I've
Yeah.
been searching everywhere to see if I could do it differently.
Right. Yeah.
Because I hate taking the diet pill Fentryman.
Oh, yeah.
Help me through the day,
I see.
not be hungry, and I just don't like taking that. But it helps if you have to,
Gotcha.
wait to dinner time. Yeah.
I got you. So you said you were able to have the eggs and you still had a good result.
Hmm.
It is nice having those different little tricks up your sleeve. My body is actually used to intermittent fasting, doing just an all day fast like that, because I do it maybe once a week, maybe once every other week, but it's something over time my body's adjusted to. So I think that's why I can do it without feeling, hungry. I think when I first started doing it, I did feel hungry. But it's funny how your body actually gets used to what you do with it. It's
Hmm.
trippy, so that's okay. But it is nice just having some people do that like egg days, other people will do like just Greek yogurt all day and nothing
Uh-huh.
else, or, and this,
And, steak and cheese. I heard that one too. I like.
yeah, so I think it's just having a plan that's kind of gives you a boundary, and usually involves low carb, and less
Mhm.
calories in some way. But it gives you that boundary, something to follow for the day. And yeah, it's just nice to have those corrective measures, So,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you shared that you can do the 1750 for maintenance because a lot of people think that, after the diet, like, oh, I can only eat 1,200 calories for life. And
Hmm.
I actually don't count calories because I hate to do it. It makes me feel like I'm in jail. But, but, but the few times that I have, like, I'm surprised at how little 1,200 calories is, like, to me, like food. I'm like, that's hardly anything. Like, I would hate if that's what I had to live on, but I don't. And
I know it gets depressing after a while.
yeah, so,
That's why I say I've got to do something different. I've got to see if I can live, outside of 1,200 calories.
yeah, because really having a whole nother 550 for you, that's a whole nother meal.
Hmm.
So that's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much. Lynette is holding her iPhone with her hand. So I'm pretty sure she has like a really good bicep workout that she just had with one arm. So we're going to let her go now. But thanks so much for being on with me today.